Xia Ning Chang looked at Yang Kai with a look of shock. She had never thought that stars also had birth, old age, sickness and death, and Yang Kai's words undoubtedly gave her a great shock. But since it was said by her junior brother, she was convinced. Thinking of the lifelessness of the entire Tongshuan continent, and a dead silence, Xia Ningchang's delicate body couldn't help shuddering. She couldn't imagine, if Tongshuan continent was really like this, then how many creatures would be suffering and how many life will be gone. She suddenly felt very sad. "Junior brother, can I rekindle its lights?" Xia Ningchang suddenly asked. Yang Kai turned to look at her, nodding lightly. "How to do it? Junior brother, teach me." Xia Ningchang bit her red lips and said eagerly. "The key lies in you." Yang Kai took a deep breath. Although the star source has its own life, it has no consciousness. It is a miracle. It chose you, although the original purpose was to absorb your life energy and replenishes itself and delays the speed of destruction. But if it is handled well, it will not only revitalize the Tongshuan continent but also give you tremendous benefits. Xia Ningchang's expression shocked. Yang Kai turned his head, murmured, and looked at the huge gray fire below with interest. The star source. Since he entered the star territory, he would often hear this thing, but he had never witnessed the original power of a star. Whether the mass energy in the floating continent is the original star source or not remains to be verified. It can be said that the huge gray fire in front of him was the first source he saw. This is a golden opportunity. The power of the star source is terrifying. Anyone who wants to approach has to take a huge risk. Even the strong of the Void King realm dare not approach the star source of any cultivation star at will. It is also difficult to refine it, and if one is not careful, it will be backlashed by the power of the star source and fall on the spot. Throughout the ages, many Void King realm powerhouses have been born in the star territory, and many powerhouses of this level have fallen in the process of refining the star source. In today's star territory, there are countless cultivation stars. However, there are only a handful of people who can refine the star source of a certain cultivation star and become a star master. No one in the Void King realm dared to joke about his life at will. They would rather cultivate hard, and dare not rush to refine the star source. But there was such an opportunity in front of Xia Ningchang. Compared with the star source of other cultivation stars, the original power of Tongshuan continent is undoubtedly old and fading. It was precisely because of this that Xia Ningchang was possessed by a star source. She feels tired occasionally, and don't even bother to think, and give a feeling of being old and aging fast. It is not that she is aging, but that the star source is aging, and is dying step by step. This star source chose Xia Ningchang and gave her the qualifications to refine it. Although Xia Ningchang had only second-order Saint King stage and her cultivation level was insufficient, if she had enough perseverance and courage, he might have the opportunity to refine such a star source. Even Yang Kai is a little envious of her chance. Although it is a bit dangerous, but now the arrow has to be sent from the string. The power of the star source is closely connected with Xia Ningchang. If it is destroyed, it will lose its glory. If it perishes, Xia Ningchang will inevitably be buried with it. Only by refining it can it gain that glimmer of life. In the future, as Xia Ningchang grows and becomes stronger, this huge ash fire will have the opportunity to re-emerge and regenerate Tongshuan continent. Of course, the premise is that Xia Ningchang is strong enough. Explaining the truth and the stakes, Xia Ningchang nodded without hesitation. "I am willing to refine it." Yang Kai was taken aback, smiled and nodded. "Okay, actually you don't have to worry, little sister. Since it has chosen you, there must be some sense to it. You only need to work hard, let it accept you, and let yourself merge with it. Yes, once it succeeds, you and it will no longer be separable. You will become the Star Master of Tongshuan continent, and you will be the master here. The rise and fall of honor and disgrace here are only between your thoughts. Xia Ning Chang nodded heavily, not being dazzled by the bright prospects described by Yang Kai, but seriously asking, but what should I do specifically to refine it? Come on, I'll pass you a set of cultivation technique. This cultivation technique is dedicated to refining the star source of the stars. Yang Kai smiled slightly and pulled Xia Ningchang to sit down. Let her let go of the consciousness sea defense. Yang Kai sent the divine soul spirit body into her consciousness sea, and began to teach a mysterious and unusual technique. Star refining art. It is something Yang Kai got from the Emperor Garden. He thought that he would only use it when he wants to refine the star source one day, but he didn't expect it to benefit Xia Ningchang in advance. This set of cultivation technique is hidden in a stone tablet. In the Emperor Garden that day, Yang Kai and Xianxia encountered Xueyue. During a battle, the stone tablet was destroyed. A stone tablet popped out of the debris of the stone tablet with 3 ancient words on it. Xueyue seemed to value this stone very seriously and begged to Yang Kai to give her the stone. Yang Kai almost complied. In the end, Xueyue and Stone Tablet miss each other because of the closure of the Emperor Garden. After returning to the High Heaven sect, Yang Kai carefully studied and realized that the stone tablet contained a practice called star refining art. The 3 ancient characters on the stone tablet were the names of the cultivation technique. This technique has no other use. It is used to refine the star source of the stars passed down by the starry sky great emperor, profound and mysterious. Xia Ningchang used it to refine the star source of the stars, which would definitely do more with less effort. The teaching process was very fast, and within less than half a cup of tea, Yang Kai had engraved the entire star refining art in Xia Ningchang's mind, which also contained his own experience of enlightenment. Withdrawing the divine soul spirit body from her consciousness sea, Yang Kai waited quietly. Xia Ningchang needs to comprehend this star refining art. She needs time. The sun is rising and the moon is hidden outside, and the cave is quiet and silent. It took a full month before Xia Ningchang suddenly opened her beautiful eyes and exhaled softly. Her beautiful face seemed a little tired, but her beautiful eyes were full of excitement. Junior brother, I'm ready. Let's start then. Yang Kai looked at her with scorching eyes. Xia Ningchang nodded gently, got up, and walked towards the abyss. When she came to the edge of the abyss, she stared at the huge gray fire below, her mouth lightly opened, seeming to be talking to herself, and also seeming to be communicating with the star source. If I give my life, and you can change and be bright again, that the entire continent will not be dead, then I am willing to do it. But if you can't, please accept me, merge with me, let you and me fight side by side. I will practice hard, become strong as soon as possible, and restore your vitality. The huge gray fire below remained motionless and did not react at all. But soon the sound of chi-chi erupts, the gray fire flickered from side to side, and with the swing, the huge gray fire was like a flower bud, slowly blooming all around, as if opening its arms to Xia Ningchang. A smile appeared on Xia Ningchang's face and said softly, "Thank you." When the words fell, she suddenly jumped down. Yang Kai's face changed drastically. This result was completely beyond his expectation. He didn't expect the little senior sister to be so determined. When he reacted and wanted to stop it, it was too late. Running to the edge of the abyss, looking around, the huge gray fire has closed, completely submerging the little senior sister's figure. An unimaginable force gushed out from below, throwing Yang Kai's whole body out and hitting the rock wall. Even the power of the star source that is dying is not something Yang Kai can approach. It obviously didn't want Yang Kai to interfere with the whole process. Yang Kai climbed up from the ground, his face uncertain, but fortunately, he could feel the aura of the little senior sister floating and sinking deep below. He waited nervously. Now he can't interfere with anything, he can only wait for the results to appear. Leisurely, a trace of mysterious power suddenly diffused from the underground abyss, making Yang Kai's irritable mood calm down suddenly. He frowned, feeling these power silently. He seemed to see something. Hastily closed his eyes and started to investigate carefully. The vast star territory, the darkness is boundless, and there is no light. This seems to be an age without light and life. This is an extremely old age that cannot be traced back. Yang Kai raised his eyes and looked around, seeing nothing, even his own existence. Time is spent little by little in this desolation and loneliness. He don't know how many tens of thousands of years have passed. In the dark and boundless star territory, a little light suddenly burst out. The light was initially small, but it soon spread out like a spark of fire. The entire star territory was turbulent, shocked by that huge energy. Pieces of larger small meteorites impacted all around, and they gathered together and merged into one by a magical force. Like gathering sand into a tower, gradually, a star appeared in the star territory. This is a newly born star with no energy fluctuations, and the surrounding is still dark. It drifts with the flow, like a helpless child wandering in the vast star territory, without an end, and forgetting where it came from. Millions of years have passed, and it suddenly came to a bright world. This world has a huge sun, star, all the time exudes a gentle light full of heat. It stopped, and began to spin around the sun, star. Gradually, everything began to recover, and some green plants and flowers grew on its ground. It was another millions of years of evolution and evolution. Finally, some intelligent creatures began to appear on this star. They are the oldest group of creatures and the oldest race. They eagerly learn, grow, and become stronger in daily life. They branched out, and different races were born. Human race, monster race, demon race, and even many strange races. No longer satisfied with a simple life, they began to fight for various resources. They figured out a way to make themselves stronger, and they began to cultivate. Some races perished, and some races became stronger. To be continued.